If you thought politics was getting dull, Karoline Leavitt just reminded everyone why popcorn-worthy press briefings are still very much alive and well. From roasting a French politician with the kind of precision usually reserved for stand-up comedy.
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not
comedy, to leaving Jeff Bezos squirming in his Amazon Prime seat. Leavitt's recent appearances have been less about political spin and more like a highlight reel from a heavyweight bout. And yes, she's undefeated.
Protecting Social Security benefits for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and seniors who have paid into...
Let's start with France, the country that gave us wine, cheese, and, oh right, the Statue of Liberty. Apparently, one ambitious French politician decided to stir the pot by saying the U.S. no longer reflects the values the statue stands for, and maybe it's time to take it back. Karoline's response? A mic drop history lesson. The only reason you're not speaking German right now is because of us. You're welcome. Brutal, accurate, hilarious. Also, fun fact, the politician in question represents...
How should Americans view politicians who take pride in the downfall of an American car company?
I think that's quite sad, but I think Governor Walz unfortunately is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat.
Only 14% of voters in the EU Parliament. So, technically, he doesn't even speak for the majority that gave the statue in the first place. Oops. Then there's former President Biden, who recently tried his hand at a big comeback speech. The topic? Social Security.
The leader sitting in the Oval Office today is President Donald Trump and not President Kamala Harris.
The delivery? Let's just say if awkward pauses and unfinished sentences were an Olympic sport, Joe might have walked away with gold. Leavitt's take? She was surprised he was even awake for a nighttime speech. Isn't this past his bedtime, she joked. You could practically hear aides rushing for damage control. Meanwhile, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz made headlines too, but not for reasons he might want. He told reporters that watching Tesla stock gives him a little boost during the day. Karoline...
We have had over a quarter of a million people issued non-crime hate incidents. As we speak, there are people in prison.
Opposed to the president, nor have I spoken to him about that idea, but I certainly can and talk to our national security team and see if it's something the administration would...
Couldn't resist. If watching the market tank gives him joy, she said, he must be having a fantastic year. Cold, but again, fair. But perhaps the most unexpected moment came when the conversation turned international. During a White House press event that featured fresh,
free speech in the United Kingdom, the vice president has been incredibly outspoken about this for good reason.
Mainstream voices. Leavitt was asked if the Trump administration would consider offering political asylum to British citizens punished for online memes. Yes, actual jail time for memes. Her answer? She hadn't spoken to President Trump about it yet, but she'd bring it up, and frankly, in today's world, it wouldn't even be the weirdest thing to happen. She also got into it with Jeff Bezos, because why not? After Amazon made moves critics say aligned with Chinese propaganda interests. By American, she urged, throwing a reminder that Trump's policies aimed to onshore production and strengthen U.S. supply chains. Oh, and if this had happened under Trump, the media would have declared economic Armageddon by now. But under Biden, crickets. Then came the inevitable swipe at the legacy media. MSNBC, once again in a hot seat, replaced Joy Reid, after years of eyebrow-raising monologues, with Simone Sanders apparently expecting a total rebrand. What they got instead? A remix of the same tune, just with new vocals. Leavitt called out Sanders for labeling deportations of criminal illegal aliens as racist, pointing out that Americans of all backgrounds, especially those in inner cities, are being harmed by these policies. One particularly pointed example. Public school kids in New York being displaced from their cafeterias to make space for migrants sleeping on mats. That's the kind of policy that's tough to spin and easy to mock. As Karoline pointed out, sometimes the best political strategy isn't a fight. It's to hand the mic to your opponent and let them self-destruct in real time.